One of the really amazing things about training with our dojo in Honolulu is we always had some incredible visiting masters come through. I remember meeting Kanazawa, Sai Sensei, and I remember Sai Sensei was a very tiny, very thin man, but his movement was so quick, he could just move like lightning. And I remember one master came from Japan, and he stood there and he said to the black belts, "Hit me in the stomach." And at first they were like, "No, no, no." And he said, "Try." So they came, hit. And he goes, so weak. Next. And one after another, these young black belts, hit him in the stomach, and one after another, he would just sit there and go, "Oh, that's so weak." Next. And this is a kind of qigong. You have this training in China. I've learned qigong here over the past 10 years. And of course, it takes a lot of time to learn. But to be able to see those kind of masters demonstrate, wow. I mean, it was so inspirational. And I remember, the whole class was so helping. It was that feeling of ohana. You really had some of the, really good black belts would always help us, green belts, brown belts, help us along the way, sparring, teaching, showing different techniques. And of course, Master Funakoshi was the supreme fighter. There was nobody who could get near him. And all of us learned from him. And most important, learned from his own mental calm. And I remember once, one of the fellow students was saying, when he spars with us, he's a master psychologist. He doesn't have to fight with us. He can read our minds, and he observes us, and he sees what we're doing, and then he just plays with us like a cat playing with a mouse, and that's what it felt like. And from that, I learned so much, because from those years of sparring with Shihan Funakoshi's teaching and with the other black belts, it trained my own mind of how to spar, but also how to negotiate. So years later, I became a lawyer. I closed in 1992 the largest U.S.-China technology transfer dispute at the time with Kodak, Xiamen Fuda. I did Ericsson's first deal in China, Bayer's first deal, ExxonMobil's first deal. I negotiated all of these things. And for years, I was also negotiating dispute resolutions, investments, all that stuff. And actually, what I was doing had very little to do with law training, very little to do with law school. It all had to do with karate. It was all about taking karate and using your mind to think the same way, to create that opening, to be able to build those defenses, to be able to respond and see that 1 second when you have to get in, and to be able to do it, spontaneously without thought. And that training, law school can't give it to you. That training only karate can, and only under a master like Shihan Funakoshi could I learn that way of thinking. And that became, I think, the key to my own success as a lawyer was not law, but karate. And I remember years later here in China, I think it was the Bar Association America came here. It was during the Olympics 2008, and they were doing a story on successful lawyers in China. There was maybe a dozen of us, and I was one of them, and they came to interview me, and they said, "Oh, well, tell us about your time in law school and what you learned." And I said, "Karate." And they said, No, we want to know about your time in Hawaii. Why did you go to University of Hawaii? To learn karate. No, we want to know, your law education. What was it that influenced you the most in your career? Studying karate under Master Kenneth Funakoshi. That is what actually affected my law career and made it most successful. And they were very upset with me. They said, "No, we want you to talk about your alumni, your university. This is the Bar Association." And I said, "No." I said, "Actually, the thing that really trained me how to mind to negotiate and to do all those deals was Kenneth Funakoshi and his teaching of Funakoshi Shotokan karate. That made all the difference. See?
Okay.